Everyone, let's stretch a little bit. You nourish yourselves as well.
Relax. Come on.
A drink of water. I don't have headphones today, so my neighbors must be thinking that I'm crazy. And you know what? I don't care. Because they're right. So probably to their standards. Okay, everyone, are you ready? Don't let me be the only idiot who's dancing. Do something that resembles dancing, please. Thank you, Melo. I highly appreciate you joining. Thank you, Mara. Thanks, Harley. Okay. So we have a great session ahead today. We are going to be learning a lot. I can hear a lot of music. All right. There you go. Now I am the only noise that you hear. So that's what I wanted, mission accomplished, at least on this call. I don't know about your surroundings. So today we are going to learn a lot about prototyping. Who would like to tell me what do you understand when you hear the word prototyping? Okay, Mara, go for it.
So basically what I think of first is like a first version of something that you like launch and then optimize depending on like the feedback you get.
Perfect explanation, because it is important that we all realize that before creating something in where we will have to invest a lot of resources, and with this I don't only mean money but also your time, which is the most valuable resource that you have in life. Double check that what you're creating is something that is useful, that your customers will be interested in, that is something that helps your customers feel like, wow, this person is treating me, or this product is exactly what I was looking for. I feel like part of royalty, or I don't know if you're into any other form of government, like I feel like a president. Anyway, the main idea is that you fail, okay, but that you fail fast, you fail hard, and you fail often, so you learn from all of your trials and start creating better and better prototypes after you see what things are not working in the way that you would like them to work. Okay, so before we move on to the main explanation and activity of today, I would like you all to close your eyes. And I want you to think of the year 2035. 2035. How is that going to look like? How's society gonna be like? Most importantly, how are you then? How are you going to be looking like? What are you gonna be wearing even? Maybe you actually got that hairdo you wanted to get and you never dared. I don't know. How are you gonna be look like? You look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? You are about to go to work. You're in a good mood. It's Monday morning. You are stepping into your office, your own office. Take a look at your office. How does it look like? What color are the walls? How many people are there? Are you the only person? Are you with a team? What does it smell like? Is anyone having coffee? Is there a place to have breakfast, perhaps? Or maybe someone is burning incense. What kind of office is it? Now you're in a comfortable position at your office. You're about to start the day, and you're going to sift through some customer testimonials or even footage of customers perusing your website, customers interacting, happy customers with your product. What are they saying? What are they doing? In what manner are they providing you with feedback? What are some of the success stories that your customers have to tell? Like, you got a lot of recommendations, a lot of videos of people saying great things about your project. What are they saying? What are those stories? What are some of the new features that they are loving and that perhaps were a crazy idea to start with? What are some of the upcoming events and projects that customers are getting into? And something you really like is that your customers keep on coming back. They keep on coming back. But why? Why are they coming back? Who is your oldest customer and how is your company a part of their life? How are your customers consistently interacting with your product, your service, your project? How are people's lives changing? How are you bettering the society at large? Imagine specific moments when you are making someone's life better. What are those moments? What's happening? What is your company culture? What's important for your company and how do you collaborate with other companies perhaps? What kind of companies would you collaborate with? How are your customers meeting new people because of your business? And who are they meeting? Imagine that interaction. At the end of the day, how do your customers feel about themselves? And what have you solved for them? And all those things that you have solved for your customers, how do they affect society as a whole? How do they make society better? I want you to imagine a very specific change that has happened within a person, within a customer, within society, one change. But it has happened because of your company, because of what you have created. How do you feel observing it? What are your thoughts? Who else is there with you? Imagine the entire scene. It can be online, it can be face-to-face, it can be connections through social media or any other thing that exists in 2035. What is the main color that you see around you in that situation, in that problem that you have, that change that you've created because you helped solve a problem? What's the main color that you see? What sounds can you hear in that situation? What is the main smell? What's the temperature like? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it somewhere in between? Take a deep breath. And identify what are you most proud of. And whenever you feel ready, slowly open your eyes and on a notebook, on a piece of paper, wherever, for a few minutes, write down everything you saw in as much detail as you feel comfortable with. Just write down for a few minutes. No right or wrong answers, just whatever's on your mind. Thirty more seconds. Okay, show me with a reaction. How are you feeling? Are you like, yay, I'm loving my life in 2035? Or you're like, yeah, let's get there faster. I can't wait for it to be 2035. Or are you like, nope, nope, that's so not what I want. How are you feeling? Great. I like that most of them, I am interpreting them as positive and making you feel comfortable. That's how I interpret them. So that is great. Right, so in a second, I am going to be sharing with you a few prototyping tools that you might be finding useful, okay, to create at least the first draft of your prototype for your project, for your product. You will need to choose at least two, okay, at least two. And I'd suggest a maximum of 5. I mean, if you want to try 27 tools, completely up to you. Go have fun, learn, but it might be a little bit too much to start with. So my recommendation, at least 2 and maximum of 5 each. Now, why a minimum of 2? Because 1 will have to be physical. And with that, what do I mean? You get a physical piece of paper and you draw it, you take a picture, and I don't know, you make like a collage, you build something with like cardboard, something physical, something that you can actually hold. Well, I mean, if you make it too heavy, perhaps you will not be able to hold it, but I mean, I cannot imagine what prototype can you create that it will be too heavy for you to hold. You know what I mean? I hope. And if you don't, please let me know. That will be one of the prototypes, physical prototype. And the second one, a human-based prototype. I repeat again, human-based prototype. Now, what do I mean with this? I am by no means suggesting that you experiment on people like, oh, what about like seeing the interior of a human? No, it's not what I mean, okay? I mean things like asking real people for feedback, creating a personalized business journey for a few people who want to try it out, asking friends to ask friends to ask friends about feedback that could be useful for your project, even creating an online webinar in where you lead a seminar. If the COVID situation is okay in your area and you want to create something offline, like a meeting, an activity, a scavenger hunt, by all means, but something that's based, something that's with humans, like an interaction with humans. Is this so far understood? Okay, I see most people doing this in my in my culture. We identify this movement as yes, so great. I will carry on. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is wherever you are taking the notes about your life in 2035, spend a couple of minutes jotting down ideas on specific customers' needs and how to cover them before, thinking of what tools do you have to use, okay? So write as extensive as you can list of what are specific needs that your customers are going to have and how are you planning to cover them, okay? So what about 3 minutes for that? Sounds good? Okay, so 3 minutes. 10 more seconds. All right, do you have more or less a clear idea of what are the needs of your customers and how are you planning to cover them, more or less? Like, okay, so me, if you're like very confident, I don't know, grow like this, and if you are not that confident about it, make yourself small. If you're like, okay, let's just be here. Right, I love when you move. Fantastic. So I'm going to share my screen now. Kind of confident. Cool. I'm gonna share my screen now to let you know some of the tools that we recommend here at SOF for you to start prototyping. Okay, so to get clarity with actual examples, you can prototype without technology. A lot of you have mentioned things like, oh, I will create a website, I will create an app. The problem is that I have no idea how to create an app. Well, you can prototype without technology. So you can, as specified here, just checking with your friends, ask them about the habits that are related to your project. We have been talking about what habits do we want to change in our environment. So ask them, like, when you do this, what would you need to make it differently, etc. Live session, like host a webinar, create a flow. When I say a flow, I mean like a lesson plan. Well, I'm too much of a teacher sometimes, but like, we start with this, it lasts for X amount of time, then we go to this, then we go to this, and it kind of flows. It makes sense that you do one activity after the next. That's what I mean with a flow. And host it and see what feedback do you receive. Customer sampling. So what personal needs of customers will you want to know from? Check the list that you just wrote and say, what else is there that I might have not been aware of yet? What am I missing? And send these questions to 3-5 of your friends. And you know how all the planet is connected by 6 levels? They say that now with social media is down to 4. Who knows? Ask them to send it to 3-5 people, who will send it to 3-5 people, who will send it to 3-5 people, and see what answers do you get. And create an archive of the needs of your customers, because this is going to help you make the customer's journey and customize it. You want your customer to feel great. You don't want just to throw your your project on them and say, hey, give me feedback on this. Like, you are not asking them for a favor, you are giving them a treat, something that they are really going to enjoy, something that they've been waiting for since forever ago, and you have the solution. So remember, it's not about you creating the best product, it's about them solving a problem and you helping with that. Okay, so other tools. How to host a live session. Do not worry, I will be sharing all of these links later on with you. Feel free to take pictures of your screen if that works for you, but all of the links will be provided on Discord. I will show you where later. So for prototyping a live session, you can use any of these tools like Zoom, like GoToWebinar, like many aspects. The interactions could be on a live session, and they usually end up visiting your website or app. So if you have that ready, you can send it at the end. Like, did you like this session? You can learn more about it on this other on this other place where you have already gathered all of the information. What else can you do? You can pair customers and see how they interact and how is the difference. So create an activity between 2-3 customers that will give you the information that you need to develop your product or your service. So you will learn about how to scale your product by analyzing the actions, the habits that they have, because those will be real. Like, for example, in this project, Mahid gathered a lot of people who wanted to learn more about the LGBT community. So he paired a person from the community, a person who was not from the community, for a 2-week course, and they will learn from each other. And he was recording all of the interactions, analyzing the habits, and gathering a lot of data from that. You can create also a scavenger hunt. It can be online, or it's not as fun, but you can also create it safely within your own possibilities in these unprecedented times. Now, getting a little bit more technical, you can create an explainer video, literally a video in where you explain something to your customer. Make sure that this is very engaging and it does not feel like, hey, here, a video out of the 100 that you receive on a regular daily basis on social media, WhatsApp, etc. So how is this video changing the point of view of your customer or solving a problem? How is this a treat to your customer rather than just a lengthy explanation of what are you doing with your customer? Remember, focus on the benefits that your customer gets, not on the description of your product. No one wants to hear the description of your product. They want to understand how are you going to solve a problem for them. When you want to when you want to sell something, people buy things that are solving a problem, things that are saving them time, or things that are entertaining them. So what does entertain your customers? What can you save them time with? Or what problems are you solving? Super important that you know that and that you focus on that when you're communicating with them, rather than in, well, my project is like this, explanation, 20 minutes later, explanation. We all love our projects, but no one wants to hear a too long explanation of it. Social media. Many of you mentioned, yeah, I will create a profile on Instagram or in TikTok. I am the only one here who's still using Facebook, I guess, like any other platform that you are active on, and share information there. That is something that's fairly easy to do. It can be a little bit time consuming if you want to post content very often, but you can reach a lot of people and it's very easy to share. You can build a website. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I've never built a website before. Do I have to buy a domain? Do I have to blah, blah, blah? Well, I mean, you could buy a domain and, I don't know, create it with WordPress or Divi or something like that. You don't need to spend that money yet. WordPress has the possibility of creating free websites with a lot of templates. We suggest Strikingly or Wix, which are pretty intuitive and user-friendly. And again, just go play around, have fun, see what happens. I will not suggest you to spend money on anything unless you're 100 or 120%, 100% sure that this is what you want and this is what you want it to look like, okay? Depending on the kind of domain that you want to buy, it can be from $10 to $5,000 if it is something like super cool sounding. Like mine was $8, but I don't know, it depends of where do you buy it, etc. But that is only for whenever you want to create it like in a super professional way. Now we are only prototyping. Do not worry about that. We want to see how it looks like. We want to try it with real people, see how they interact with it, and if that is what we want. And then you can think on how to create a professional website. For that, if you're thinking of an app, like a lot of you were saying, but I have no idea how to program an app. Well, most of us don't either, and most of us have never done. This is a program that we really like. You can create a mock app with this tool. Basically, what you create is you upload a picture. It can be like something that you draw yourselves or something you created with Canva or Photoshop, whatever tool that you might be using. I recommend Canva. It's super easy. And you can upload it to this tool, and it will add the buttons. So you just create the image, and then you select where do you want the buttons to be. Figma is another one that you can create. You can use to create an intuitive and fun design. It's similar to the previous one. It does not have well, maybe it cannot be as free as the previous one where you can upload any image, but it's also very visually beautiful. So play around, and again, no coding required. You can also create a website forum. You want to know more about your customers, you want to know more about their needs. Instead of asking your friends and your self members again to fill yet another survey, what about creating a forum in where all of the answers will be, and see if that is what your customers need? A lot of you were underlining the need of community within your project, for your customers to unite and to give more examples, to give like advice to each other. This could be something to start with and see if that is exactly what they need. E-commerce is tricky in most of the situations. I mean, not that many of you are thinking of a product that you are going to sell. Right now, I believe it's like one or two of you. So don't worry about this that much yet. But you can create a mock website in where you can include the prices and see how comfortable people feel with those prices. See if they think it's too much or too little. Sometimes we think things like, oh, if I raise the price too much, then no one is going to buy. And what happens sometimes is, if the price is too low, people will not trust you, as in, why is this so incredibly cheap in comparison with other offers out there in the market? This must not be that great quality, right? So give yourselves credit for your time and your work and your experience. And Pinterest, for your interest, you can create an entire database of things that you can offer your customers and check how do they interact with them. For example, if you give them 4 pictures to choose from and they choose number 2, you should know why are they doing that and what to suggest after. When talking about suggestions, customize their needs. You can add like, what are the topics that you are thinking of offering if your project is linked like that. And see which ones are more often selected by your customers. See what are the main interests. Perhaps you think, oh, of course, my ideal customer will be interested in this and this and this and topics, and they are choosing something completely different. So allow them to surprise you. Remember, they are the ones who need to be satisfied. We are creating solutions for them. You can also do something fun, like a quiz. I know that the word quiz usually makes you think of school and test, etc. That's not what I mean, okay? I mean the fun ones, like trivia, etc. Or if you're thinking of delivering a webinar or a class or an intuitive activity, how to create a course curriculum, you can find it here. EduFlow is a super useful one and teachable. Or you can ask teachers that you may know, if you know any, on how to create one. That's really cool. There are a lot of online resources for fun interactive classes. And back again to human-based activities, physical activities and scavenger hunts. Get them outside if it is safe where you're living and that's possible. Think of other activities that you could do out, online. If you're thinking of a community, especially, this is super useful. If you are thinking of an activity that you would like to offer your customers, or if you want to provide them with a safe space of any kind. I know that several of you are thinking of safe spaces. Think of how will that look like, and just okay, I don't mean this in a creepy way when I say observe them. Okay, I don't mean like, okay, but just look at how are they interacting with each other, if the kind of place is what they will need, if it made them feel safe. You can directly ask them, was this safe enough for you? What else could I do for this to be safe for you, etc. And this is something that we would like you to do sooner than later, okay? So you will develop your product based on the real needs in the moment, the real needs of people. So the list that you just wrote, those one. Start a massive list. You've started it right now. What else can be added? So make that list bigger by asking your friends for real-time moments, okay? that either they went through or that their friends went through. Think of something that will be super useful to identify habits or behaviors that you would like to help shifting for the purpose of your project, and ask them something related to that. So the examples here are a moment when you see lack of communication in your family, if you are thinking of providing them with an activity for families to enjoy time together, quality time without screens, for example, or something you can see, is something corrupt that angers you and you feel like you cannot do anything about that. If you want to change, I don't know, if you want to change corruption within politics, but you don't know where to stand because right now you are where you are and might not have a direct impact on politics, or moments where you're throwing trash that could be recycled, for example. Anyways, whatever your project, what we would like you to do is to share this real-time moment. And what will you ask of people? Is this more or less understood? Okay, I want to see your faces because they are a lot more beautiful than mine. I don't like talking and only seeing my face, like I'm talking to myself. I'm fed up of hearing my voice. Is this more or less clear? Okay, how many of you are like, oh my God, this was a lot of information and I need all of the links so I can check that on my own time? How many of you are feeling that? Okay, great. Thank you for raising your hands. I love that you are brave. Worry not, I'm gonna show you where exactly you can find that information. So let me find it myself. Here it is. Sharing my screen again in a second. My entire laptop is in Spanish and I'm speaking in English, and this is like effing my brain. So yay. So this is Discord, and you see here this channel called Prototyping Questions and Answers. It's now, instead of spicy questions or idea carousel, this is called prototypes. If you scroll down all of your names, you can find prototyping questions and answers. Click there and you'll get all of this information. Archive, examples, links, even more links. This list is being updated regularly. When we discover new tools that we love, we add them to the list. If you discover a tool that you love that's not on the list, please, by all means, you guys are a lot better than all of us together with technology. So make suggestions, help each other. Okay, so can you all see? Okay, I want to see you. Can you all see what it is? Did you find it on Discord? I want to stop sharing. Yeah. Fantastic. So what we are going to do now is you're going to go into breakout rooms for about 20 minutes, okay? And I would like you to discuss with the 2-3 people on your room what do you think is the best tool for what you need. If you're completely lost, like, oh my god, I have no idea, I don't know where to start, ask them. Everyone else is in the same situation. So don't be afraid to show your vulnerability on this aspect, because all of you are on the same page. Okay, so let me see how many of you are here today. I think 15. One more. Okay, so grupos. ¿Cuántos grupos quieres? Ah, 5. Yeah. Okay, so you'll be assigned to a group, and I'll call you back in about 20 minutes. Have fun.
Is it just me solving?
No, everyone will be coming back shortly. Hello, welcome back. Right, while everyone is coming back, make sure that you are ready to share the latest and greatest version of your idea. Were you all able to access that channel on Discord with all of the links, etc.? Okay, great. So I did it correctly. Yes. I was hoping not to give permissions to absolutely everyone on the internet. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. How are you feeling? Okay, bravo. In Spain, this means more or less. I don't know if you do the same. This might be a. It comes from more or less. So, like, whatever. Yeah. Fun body movements. I think that everyone is back. I would love to hear how your conversations went and what is your newest, greatest idea. In what shape is your prototype? What tools are you thinking of using? I want to know everything. Who would like to go first? Okay, Jamie, go for it. And then Harley.
So first we began having like some connection issues and that was fine. Then his mum gave him a kitten and then he left.
Okay.
Yeah.
That does not sound that does not sound like a great conversation. So I guess that thank you for the example of how not to hold a conversation with one of your cohort members. Also, Jamie, did you text me to say that? I might have missed your message. Okay, so no, you didn't. On my end, I apologize for not realizing that you were alone in your room. For next time, make sure that you make me know so I can solve the problem, or I can help you solve the problem, okay? In the meantime, Jamie, would you like to share with everyone what is the main idea that you're having now? How are you thinking of doing the first draft of your prototype?
Right, so it's a tea, coffee machine that will make the entire beverage completely automatically, and you can control it from your phone, and it'll have some voice functionality. Pretty much it. Just essentially a smart tea or coffee machine with an embedded alarm clock, so it can wake you up, and it'll have the ability to make it before the alarm goes off. So it will just wake you up with it.
Let us know what tools are you thinking of using to prototype it. Remember, one human-based and one physical at least.
Well, I'm gonna need to interview some people to see what their price ranges would be for such a device, because it's unique. So I'd want to know what people would pay for, and if they like the idea in general. Because if it's a stupid idea, then you gotta go back to the drawing board.
I can guarantee that is not a stupid idea. I might be the
Well,
only coffee addict in the room, but go for it.
In the case that it is, and people just don't like the idea in general, then you've got to go back to the drawing board. That's just basic. But also, you would need to know what people would pay for the certain functionalities, what they would pay for everything, because
Okay, so
you can't
your human-based prototype are gonna be interviews of people to check what the price range is gonna be like, and the physical one, what is it going to be?
What now? I
The
couldn't hear you.
physical prototyping tool that you are going to use?
Physical.
Yeah.
I'm lost already. Is it the thing that you'd sent on the disc?
Remember that I said in the beginning, you will need to use two tools, one human-based and one physical, something that you can actually hold with your hands.
Oh, right. Well, it's a manufacturing thing, but for prototyping, probably need to go to some kind of factory or warehouse and hopefully have a 3D printer and print it out, see how it looks.
Okay, ideas. You can draw it. I think that Ella wants to suggest something.
Yeah, no, I basically just wanted to say, why not build it out of cardboard and maybe just add certain things, and then people can say, oh no, I want it smaller or bigger. I don't know.
Good idea. Like that one.
Great. So those are some ideas for you, Jamie. Let us know how it goes. And for everyone, you guys know that technology is not my first language and it's not my superpower. Things like what happened to Jamie could happen to any of you. Let me know so I can help you solve the problem, okay? Who would like to share their ideas and what the conversation was like? What did you find useful? And shout out to Ella for always being super helpful and having great ideas. Thank you for that. So yeah, Harley, you had volunteered. I forgot. Sorry. Go for it.
Well, to start off, my idea is I want to put people who have completely the opposite viewpoints in touch with each other so that they can debate and learn from each other and kind of understand what the pros and cons of each viewpoint is, without just shouting and just having an argument, pretty much. And in order to do that, I was thinking of holding a live session. So perhaps on Zoom like this, before I make a website or something, I could hold a Zoom session where I find people manually who have different viewpoints and then explain what they'll do in the Zoom session and then put them off into breakout rooms and see how they debate and see how it all works out. And I could try and figure out what I'd need to put in the app or on the chat functions to make it go more smoothly. So perhaps muting options so that only one person speaks at a time, etc. So that's one of the things.
That's great. Are you thinking of something? What's the physical thing that you're going to be using?
Physical, what, like the website or something I'll be using to make my thing. So if I'm doing a live session, I'll be using Zoom. Oh, okay. So for a website, okay, for the website,
Something physical, something that you can hold.
Okay, I'll probably be using Canva to make a website. Yes, and I'll try and design it how I'd like to see it, and then also send it out to people so they can give me more ideas on how they would like to see the design of the website.
Perfect. Remember that it can start with a drawing, a handmade drawing, and then go to Canva. We want to get your idea out of your brain as soon as possible. That is the main goal of having something physical. Great job. Thank you very much. Ella, were you volunteering or I don't know, like I saw you like this, I didn't, okay, sorry to cold call you. Would anyone like to go next? Let me change the question. Who is going next? Thank you, Mara.
So I had a bit trouble with deciding. I had 6 ideas of stuff that I could use. I have now narrowed it down. So I am for sure going to use the second one, archive of customer samples, to identify what are the different people using my website and what are the needs, so I can make sure that everyone feels comfortable and safe. And then I would love to use free customer pairing interactions. If I can find people, I'm going to take a look at the people that already took my survey and that I've interviewed, or like other people that I'm in contact with, if they're willing to do that. If they are, then I'm happy to do it, because I think I can get a lot of information out of that. I've already started a social media, so I'm going to do that as well. And the website is also something because I think I want to get like the creative stuff going as well.
Great. Let everyone know the website and the social media so we can all follow you. Okay.
Yeah, I will do that.
Who would like to go next? Okay, I will choose. Pito, pito, gorgorito, ¿dónde vas tú tan bonito? A la era verdadera, big fu era. Okay, Jasmine.
Okay, so for the human prototype, I've already just asked people, all spoken to people about my problem. Getting ideas, what would they like to see. For the physical prototype, okay, so I'm thinking of the brand that I want to create. I also want to create a website, and once I've created the website, I will also create an Instagram page for just for more people to have access to my information. So far, that's the only only 3 things that I have for the physical prototype.
Great, thank you very much. Before you mute yourself, can you please say who's going to be next?
I would love to do that. I guess let's go with Iman.
Okay, Iman, and then Ari, who has to catch a train in 20 minutes. Okay.
What I was thinking about using was, the tools that you can create an app with. I was thinking of using both of those, and I would probably like do some illustrations of the app and the layout. And I was going to do one more thing. I think the webinar, because I wanted to do something that I wouldn't feel comfortable with, so that so I'd learn like a skill that like I could use later on, and it would be something that I wouldn't actually think about using anyway, like something that I wouldn't feel comfortable using. I think that would actually help me as well. So yeah, I'll probably use that as well.
Very cool. I know it's not the outcome that you were expecting, Ari, but please share with us. Such expressive things. Do you perhaps live in a country that uses a lot of facial expression by any chance?
Yeah. It's called Spain, but the S is silent. Okay. How the hell will I get this prototype? Well, let me begin professionally. Let's just say that my idea yet is not fully developed, but I think I could accelerate that process if I would gather a comprehensive archive of information that I would get through webinars, as you described earlier, in order to observe the behaviors of the customers that I would be having if the idea turns out to be a full-on success. And having a physical prototype is very hard for me yet because my idea is very abstract and cannot really be gripped. So
Was Kandinsky, and now he's like internationally famous. So don't be afraid of abstract ideas.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I'll just leave it. I just leave the physical prototype out of here because I don't really know how to do that yet. But I think there's a website called Genially, or I think it's Genially, where you can create huge like mind maps. I would probably use that to make a map of my mind. So yeah, that's it. I'll give the microphone over to I don't want to feel bad.
Now you know how teachers feel. We don't want to do this to you either, we are always the ones to blame. So.
Right. Well then, Ida, would you take the microphone, please? I have to catch this train.
Right, before you speak, let me share with everyone, when Ari said, oh, let me make this sound professional, he reminded me of the best piece of advice that I was ever given by a colleague when I was a beginner in this teaching field. And I was like, oh, how am I gonna speak in front of students? They are gonna realize that I don't know shit and I'm so nervous. And this colleague told me, the sooner everyone realizes that no one knows what the fuck are they doing, the better. Some of us just get better at faking it. But yeah, at any given moment in life, no one knows what the heck is going on. So we are all, regardless of age, status, experience, wherever, we are all just figuring things out. Ari, let me say that you did great. I voted, like, so professional. You sounded perfect. So great job. And everyone else, great job. You're sounding fantastic. Remember, no one knows what the heck is going on. So we might as well just create stuff. Ava, now Your turn.
Okay, so I need to talk about my prototype, right? About what I want to create. There's cars in the background. So pretty much I want to create a website that educates people on sexual and menstrual health, as well as, gender and sexual identity. So I want to also create social media platforms to advertise it. And yeah, so for my prototype, I want to create like the website on paper and show it to people and see what they think, and then create like a draft of the website and show it to people, get feedback, and continue doing that until I get a result I'm satisfied with, and then connect it to different social media platforms. So.
Awesome, and you're passing the mic to?
I don't know who hasn't spoken yet.
Peter and Melo.
Do you feel the pressure? Feel it.
Okay. Has Ella spoken yet? No. Then I pass the mic to her.
So I think, I don't know if it counts as a physical one, but an Instagram account in general, we want to create an Instagram account which sums up information or daily information about the climate crisis. And maybe to incorporate people, there could be an advertisement or suggestions of books and films and stuff like that people could read, and yeah, then you could create a community and stuff like that. So just get going with the Instagram account, maybe just upload 5 posts and see how much time people are spending on which post and what they found the most interesting, because maybe it turns out that they just want to have book suggestions and not the daily news at all. That could happen. So yeah, I don't know. Ava told me about that if you create a business account, you can actually see how much time people are spending on different accounts. So I think Instagram would do the work for me there, or for us. And
if you do create a business account on Instagram, it gives you statistics also of what time do people log in into your website, how many new people is following you, how many people left, and on what post got more interactions, and then it rates them. So very useful. And the more followers that you get, the more features that you unlock.
Yeah, and as a human-based prototype, I thought about, maybe, it sounds weird, but I thought about a Zoom call or something with like about as many people as I can find, and see how their facial expressions are towards like different ideas, because I think you can see, because sometimes you're just like, oh, that's interesting, or you're just like, oh, what am I doing here? So something like that, where you can just ask friends and maybe even people who are not really interested in it. So yeah, maybe I will get back to someone of you.
I like that idea. Also, if you get any tip on how to have everyone with their cameras on a Zoom call, I am super open to suggestions. No, you guys are great. You guys are great. Most of you have your cameras on all of the time, but I have other groups in where I am the only one with the camera on, and it's super awkward. So.
Oh yeah, you can actually put the, I don't know, option in that you can just join whilst having your camera on, otherwise you can't join. I don't know, that's what our teachers do, but
I will have to see what the turnout of the meetings will be then, but thanks. Yeah, that's there's only 2 people left to share, and I still have to tell you how the voting is going to be like this week, and you're going to hate me a little bit right after, but only a tiny bit. So I'm looking forward to telling you all. Please, Ella, who's going next?
I think, Milo, you haven't spoken yet, right?
I have not spoken. So for mine, still more on the working process. Nothing's finalized yet, but I have been thinking of websites and maybe an app, or yeah, physical. I have to agree with Ala and say maybe Instagram. That could be a big way to show progress at the beginning of the, like, promote it, actually get people to maybe have an interest in it. And for testing, I could get people to just come in and we just talk about the solution, maybe go to a food kitchen and actually just spend the day with people in that circumstance, just to actually get an understanding of how they do, how their everyday lives is, and just understand their needs so I can help them in a way that I'm not doing it in a way that I want to do it, but in a way that I know they need it, which would actually benefit them and not just me and make me feel like a better person, but it actually help. So that has been my main thought for a while, and I think it's to add more layers. I'm gonna call it a cake. I'm gonna add more layers to this cake. So yeah, that's it.
Great. And we would love to hear from you, Peter.
Yeah, sure. Hi guys. So apart from what Ella said, first we're gonna create Instagram, and then we'll move on with the actual website. And for prototypes, I would just say the website so far, and then we can improve on ideas from there. Maybe perhaps like a product or something.
Again, as I mentioned before with Harley, if you want to draw it on a piece of paper before you create a website, it also works as a prototype. Show it to people, ask the people who are going to be using it, what will they add, etc. But thinking of, yeah, I'm going to create a website will take a lot more time than I'm going to draw it on a piece of paper and see that. That can be your first prototype, okay? I am not suggesting that you guys do not work, okay, on a website if you so want. I am trying to make you feel better about the anxiety of creating of a prototype. You know, it can be a lot easier than what you all have in mind. So, great. Are you guys ready for me to tell you how are we going to be voting this week? Ella is not ready. Great. So remember that I showed you a new channel on Discord called Prototyping Q&A, Prototyping Questions and Answers. Yes? Okay. So deadline for your prototype is Wednesday. Okay. You need to turn up your first prototype by Wednesday. Where are you uploading it? On the channel that is only your name, you know, hashtag your name within the prototyping channel, okay, the ones that we saw for. You upload, yeah, 1 second, Mara. You will upload either pictures of, you know, the physical drawings that you've done, or if you are gonna host a Zoom session, the flow of the session, you don't need to actually upload the recording of the session, doesn't need to happen, but at least the flow first, we are gonna do this and this and this is what I'm planning to do, drafts by Wednesday. And the points are on that channel, questions and answers. Feel free to ask any question that you may have and answer any question that has been asked. Each question and each answer given is 1 point for your team. So the winner will be announced on Thursday. Please do ask as many questions as possible on that channel. If you see questions there and you know an answer, please give an answer, because both things are a point for your team. Now, please don't do, oh, I wonder what the answer of this is, and then you answer yourself, oh, the answer could be this. That is not 2 points for your team, okay? That's cheating. Mara, what is your question?
At what time at Wednesday do we have to load it up?
That is a fantastic question. If it is Wednesday in your country, it still works. Okay, so it sounds weird, but you all have the same amount of time. Okay. It's just that I may say by 5 p.m. and then like 5 p.m. where exactly there's people from California and Qatar in this group. So any more questions? And if you have them, you know where to add them. They will be 1 point for your team. So go ahead, start prototyping, ask questions, answer questions, have fun. You have a lot of links to explore on that channel. And as always, should you want any extra help, drop me a line, drop any of the soft workers a line. We are more than happy to help. With this being said, I will refer you goodbye and I'll see you next Saturday. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have fun. Enjoy the rest of
Bye.
your weekend.
I'm
Bye.
out.